Yeah, my wonderful people, I bring greetings anywhere you are joining us from, or watching us, or viewing us. I greet you in the name of Chuku Okike, and I must say thank you so much for being part of us this day. As you are just joining, please do me one small favor, like this program. And then thank you so much for liking this program. And we will continue to do what we know how to do best. We will continue to disseminate information. This day, we're going to share some updates, just updates, nothing but updates. So I greet you. As we all know, earlier today in the Facebook, I shared a piece of program update as well. How Enugu State is doing, or Ebonyi State rather is doing. We see how police invaded, or bro, it is too bad. It is too bad. When they do, they ask you not to publish. They force you not to publish. They make sure whatever they do is not published. This is how you see a terrorist people in action. The only thing is that they are in uniform. The only thing is that they are in uniform. They wear their uniform, so when they are carrying out their evil deeds, you will not know. You will see them that they are human beings, or they are police, or they are military, but the truth is that they are not. They are not. So in Enugu State, I don't know if I can bring up that news here. We'll go before we go on, and then we will listen to our Prime Minister and see update from the lobbyists. We will continue to do the needful. By now, I believe everybody should be interested in making sure that everybody should be involved, must have been involved in making sure that your nation, my nation, our nation is being restored. If you are not interested, if you have not been interested, I don't know what you, I don't, I short, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but the truth is that by now we all should be doing the needful. This is no longer the time you come and say, hey, no, those days are gone. We are now facing the reality. And what is the reality? The reality is nothing. Okay, I found it. The reality is just that the truth must be told, and we must embrace this truth. That you like it or you don't like it has nothing to do. I'll just go to the news and show you some part of the news that is so ugly and annoying and painful part of the news I want you to see this morning before we go to the updates of what is happening and what will happen. And we all know how the Nigeria system are trying to bring the Funanis to our land, and this is what we have been crying for, shouting, singing. Or people are not getting the message. People are saying it as if we are mad. Today, you see. But I thank God that the PM has told or have vowed that that will not happen. And Biafrans are ready to take on and defend their land in any way, in anyhow, like it or don't like it. Biafra must be defended at all costs. When you listen to what Shetima said in the United Nations, and in America, just this past week, you listened to Shetima telling you how important it is for you to defend yourself, how important it is for you to defend that your freedom, your liberty. It's your right that nobody can take away from you. That it is your right you must not allow anybody to take away from. You will understand that you have to save yourself by fighting your way out. You cannot tell me it is good for people of Syria to, or Lebanon, or Syrians, or Palestinians. You can't tell me it's good for them to be free, to have freedom, for them not to be oppressed, for nobody to oppress them, to intimidate them, to bomb them, suicide bomb them. They are the one bombing themselves, that nobody should gag them. But you are here gagging my people, gagging our land. Go to Biafra land today, you see insecurity, unknown government breeded by them. Today they are bringing the so-called repented or repentant terrorists to our land. Is for you to understand how evil these people are. We will listen to our Prime Minister on that, but before we listen to our Prime Minister, let's just see this news and see some part of the news that I would want us to see. Then we will continue with the other updates. Yeah. You know, I like when I bring news, I will show you where the news is coming from. This news is coming from Nigeria State. New Yam Festival turns bloody in Ebonyi community as police disrupt celebration. Now, it's not just this that is my concern. I will show you something that you may like or you may not like. Now, from this Daily Post Nigeria, by the way, I'll just show you here. Okay, now this is the place I want us to see, just here. Here is the most important part of the here is the most important part of the news. Now it says items damaged, including sound system, plastic chairs, canopies, tables, electricity generating sets, and other valuable items. Now they went there. This is where people, a community, were like organizing to hold their New Yam Festival. Police went there, Nigeria police rather went there and do all the things you are seeing there now. They destroyed the sound system, electricity, gadgets, everything, plastic chairs, canopies. They destroyed everything. And now the policemen also carted away cannon guns. They carted away cannon guns that the people planted on the ground for the celebration. Now, from here, listen. The policemen, on citing journalists, warned them not to take any picture in the community and ordered them out. Hello? Yeah. The market one. Hello? Now, yes.
The United States of America is a steadfast supporter of the principles that people have a right to choose their own form of government. Nations have a right to choose their own alliances. There are inalienable rights governments must protect. The rule of law must be cherished. Sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states must be respected.
The UN Charter and its principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, human dignity, and the right to self-defense, these principles are universal and we must uphold them. International law must be protected always and everywhere. without any ambiguity in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and everywhere in the world. This is our global responsibility.
Self-preservation must be protected at all costs. Today, the Biafra Liberation Army have neutralized dozens of these terrorists in our land, and we are proud of them. They will continue to go down. Our demand is very simple. Pull them out of Biafra land. Remove every checkpoint. If you do not dismantle all the checkpoints, they will continue to die. We will continue to excel. We will continue to deal with Nigeria, and Nigeria will never ever remain the same until Biafra exits from Nigeria. A government that uses violence will be responded with the same and equal measure of violence in self-defense. So I told them,
Oh my God.
care is not taken, I will turn to a beast and Biafra will come. Nigeria has no rule of law. Their rule of law is gun and bullet, and we have come to resist it. My fellow Biafrans, the world leaders made it very clear that self-preservation is a must. They use the word must, and it should be protected at all costs. At all costs.
All right, sorry about that interruption. So the police want journalists not to take any pictures in the community. So as you can see, this is just the one they took. Where the damages were done, they were not allowed to take pictures. So they sent them away. And now listen, immediately the journalists were sent out of the community, police began to do their job. And what is their job? Immediately the journalists left the area to a neighboring community, and the policemen began firing tear gas, and they destroying many things they put in place for the celebration. Women who were preparing food for the New Yam Festival were tear gassed. Also, a sick woman, a sick lady, Peculiar Aja, who was receiving treatment inside her room, was tear gassed. And the woman said, I was on a drip on my bed inside our room when the policemen were shooting the tear gas. They shot the tear gas directly at our house, and I started losing breath until I was smuggled out of the house, she stated. We will not continue. This is enough. But I just want us to see, what offense did these people commit by trying to celebrate their New Year festival? Is it now evil to celebrate their New Year festival? Understand what is going on. And if you read on, they went to the police, the local government chairman, also councillor, went to the police commissioner of the area, or DPO of the area, and they said, according to them, the man is an Igbo. And they were told that they were not aware of the operation. Imagine. The office is not aware of the operation that they are going to investigate. And these are policemen that came on uniform. These are policemen that came with police vans, 5 of police vans, filled with the policemen, and you are investigating. If it is true that police came, if it is true that they are police, these are police, you have their plate numbers, you have their pictures. I want you to understand that this operation is not going to stop until you free yourself. And that is why you must free yourself. If you refuse to free yourself, I pity you. I pity you. We must continue. So let us go on and listen to these updates.
Thank you, my dear friend, Dr. Ngozi. It's wonderful to greet all of you, and I'm happy to greet you because of the history we have been making. I mean, look at the progress we have made in such a short period of time. We've met, especially this past month, with many top members of Congress, including meeting members of Congress on more than one occasion. I know many of you have seen the photos that we've had, but you should also know that these were not just photos. We've had substantive meetings with these members of Congress, sometimes for 1 hour, sometimes for 1 hour and a half. We've been educating these people extensively, most of whom were not aware or didn't have a nuanced understanding of the Biafra issue. Now they understand the Biafra issue. They want to do things to support us. We had 2 meetings.
Are you getting the message? Now, you see, there is something we must understand. Before now, people don't even know. We assume that America, no, Britain, no. You don't be surprised. You have to believe that even in Britain now, United Kingdom, in their government, many people don't even know what is going on in Nigeria because the journalist has been shut out. The news have been refused they have blocked the news from getting out. All the activities and the atrocities that Nigerians, terrorist government are carrying out in the north against Christians are not being heard. When the Amnesty International trying to bring it up, Nigeria will suppress it and make sure the news don't go far. The persecution of Christians, the Islamization of Nigeria, the Islamic police, the Islamic army, the Islamic court, the Islamic secretariats, all these, they don't know about it. But now, the lobbyists is telling you that the American Congress has been briefed and have been educated on what has been going on in Nigeria since all these years. This is the Biafran cause, getting to the new dimension. When you hear, you must listen to Simon Ekpa. He is bringing the new dimension. I want you to truly listen to Simon Ekpa because he is bringing a new dimension. And this is that new dimension. You must listen to him. He did not say you must just follow him on Facebook page. He said you must listen to him. Must. New dimension.
With Speaker of the House of Representatives, and to encapsulate the importance of this, the Speaker of the House is the 3rd most important person in the United States government, behind the President of the United States, the Vice President. So not just one of the most powerful people in the United States, but in the world. We met with the top people, not just people in Congress, but top people in Congress, chairman of committees, chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Mike McCall, chairman of the Africa Subcommittee, John James. We even had a nice exchange with chairman of Judiciary, Jim Jordan, prominent personalities like Senator Ted Cruz. And so we've made enormous progress, and now we're going to be moving from the awareness stage, which we will be continuing because there are 535 members of Congress. And we've been very aggressive in terms of trying to close the information gap. In terms of the meetings we've been having, anyone we've educated has been very sympathetic and supportive to what we've been telling them. The only challenge that we have is the lack of knowledge about Biafra. But we're closing that gap very quickly. There were days where Oge and I, or the finance minister and I, would have 3 meetings a day with 3 different members of Congress. So we're moving very aggressively to close that information gap. And this is really historic, the level in which we're having these meetings. I mean, frankly, I'm not sure if Tinubu could meet with some of the people we met with, frankly. I don't think he would get his appointment. So I think we should be very proud of all of our ministers. You should be all very proud of yourselves. I mean, every day we're having so much success in DC. I'm punching the zoo in the face every day, and I've been punching them so much now my hand's getting tired. I have to take a little bit of a break this weekend because we've put them on the defense, and we see this. We see this in very practical terms. The Nigerian government is so scared now that they're having their army, reach out to Amnesty International, to ICC. They're crying to these people because they're totally freaked out by our meeting with the Speaker of the House and members of Congress, and we're going to get them more freaked out. I'm telling you, when we continue, we're going to see Tinubu go out there and he's going to start crying. I said this from the beginning that I'm going to make sure that he starts begging for help. So we're going to continue to press them. We're going to continue to give Zoo blow on a daily basis with our successes here in Washington. And there's some major things that we're doing behind the scenes. We've gotten commitments from members of Congress. I can't go into all the details, but commitments from members of Congress to press the Biafra issue, both with the executive branch and also international bodies like the United Nations. So you should be prepared in the coming months to see some major movement as a result of the engagements we're having. And I just want to say also that the members of our government, we have an amazing team here. I mean, the Minister of Finance, what a man of dedication. He's been, having all these meetings with me, coming to DC, taking the time, sometimes for the full day. We have Dr. Ngozi, who, we're working on a daily basis, right? Always having important phone calls. The Prime Minister, who's always working 24 hours a day. I don't even know if he is getting any sleep, So, we just have such an inspirational team that we have here. We're achieving a lot of very significant results. I think we are shocking not just Nigeria, but the world. And this will help us, in terms of getting that momentum when we hit December 2nd and beyond December 2nd. And so I think we should all be very excited. But we're not going to take a break or rest in our laurels. We've had these great achievements this past month, but we're going to continue to ramp it up, continue to give very deep blows to the zoo on a regular basis. And trust me, you're going to continue to see them panic. You're going to continue to see them do more and more desperate things. And, we're not going to stop until victory is achieved, as I said in the beginning of this journey. So thank you. Again, I always believed that we would make a lot of progress, but even I have been pleasantly surprised about how quickly the progress has come here in Washington. So this has been a fantastic journey. I encourage all of you to follow our activities. Many of these meetings we're posting on X. So, we're doing things unlike previously in a fully transparent democratic process. We're not hiding anything. The people we're meeting with, we're posting photos. We're also posting videos too, because some of our enemies from the zoo, they were, complaining that.
Did you hear him? He said he called them evil zoo. Are you getting the message? He himself understood them to be zoo when you don't have rule of law. And you are here calling for people that are even better than you, clamoring for rule of law in Palestinian. And you have denied people their right to live. Justice has been crushed. May God have mercy on you.
All these photos are photoshopped. So now we're also showing brief videos of these meetings. So, they can't say anything. Now the zoo is so desperate, they're coming up with more and more crazy conspiracies. One conspiracy they made about me was that, Elias is a clone and the real lobbyist is somewhere else. This shows you how desperate the zoo is and how desperate the saboteurs are, that they're, resorting to all these completely crazy conspiracies. They just cannot handle the success that we're having. So, I'm very delighted with all that we're doing. I thank you for all that you do, because, you have been supporting our efforts, you, the Biafran people. So, thanks again, and I look forward to celebrating more of our successes together in Finland. So thank you, Prime Minister, Your Excellency. Thank you, ministers of the government, and thank you to everyone on the Zoom and the people of Biafra. And long live a free Biafra. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Elias, for that update. We're looking forward for even more better days ahead. We know that we are going to break many walls and many doors.
Yes.
You have done a very good job, and do not worry about what the enemy says and how they will push their propaganda, and it is part of the game. So, what we do is that we use them for our own benefit. So whenever they make this propaganda, they promote the activity of the government. And
Yes.
any day they stop the propaganda, we manufacture something for them to continue. I'm telling you, that's the only way we create awareness. We use our media, use their own media too. So while they are busy thinking they are making propaganda, we give them more job to do. And of course, when people go to watch them, they are not just only taking in, assimilating what they are saying, they are also going to look at our own side.
Yes.
And then they make their own judgment. That's exactly what is happening. So that's why when the more they do this propaganda, the more they go down. And they will never understand how it is happening. So people will go and listen to them, and then they will come to us to know what is actually going on. And when they see, they judge, the two, and they will leave them and run away from them. So that's exactly what is happening. So let them continue. And anytime they look as if the propaganda is reducing, I will do something else.
Yes.
I am telling you the fact, I can never allow them to have peace. I will bring more things for them to continue to do propaganda. Believe me, the more propaganda, the more the government is excelling. Go and check it. Anytime the propaganda stops, it's as if something is taken away from us. So we must understand that is the only way we promote our own activities and projects through their own media.
Yes, well, I assure you, Prime Minister, we'll continue driving you crazy on a daily basis. Yes. And if I ever find this Elias clone that the zoo says exists, I'll let you know if I find this other Elias. So.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. That is one we are going to continue showing you other updates. We'll be bringing you updates from beginning to the end of all the updates we'll have. Let's see this.
Decided that we design the solution that suits us. And that solution is that everything we do, since they make our country and our land very uncomfortable for us, we will bring our freedom from diaspora. And that's what we're doing today. So the enabling environment that was not created for us in Biafra land, the different countries where we reside have created that environment, and we are struggling to bring this kind of system back to our people for them to live like human beings. So we will always outsmart the terrorist state of Nigeria, where every person from the northern Nigeria is always looking forward for the Islamic State and for everybody to become Muslim. We reject it. You can't force us to become what we don't want to become. We are Christians, we are Jewish, and we are traditionalists. And you can't take that away from us. We have a culture, and what British did in the 1914 amalgamation, where they did not take into consideration the dangerous diversity, and they amalgamated us by force with the barrels of the gun. That has been over 100. Decided that we design the solution that suits us. And that solution is that everything we do, since they make our country and our land very uncomfortable for us, we will bring our freedom from diaspora. And that's what we're doing today. So the enabling environment that was not created for us in Biafra land, the different countries where we reside have created that environment, and we are struggling to bring this kind of system back to our people for them to live like human beings. So we will always outsmart the terrorist state of Nigeria, where every person from the northern Nigeria is always looking forward for the Islamic State and for everybody to become Muslim. We reject it. You can't force us to become what we don't want to become. We are Christians, we are Jewish, and we are traditionalists. And you can't take that away from us. We have a culture, and what British did in the 1914 amalgamation, where they did not take into consideration the dangerous diversity and amalgamated us by force with the barrels of the gun. That has been over 100 years. Today, the children of these people you forced into amalgamation have risen up, we're educated, we are scattered all over the world, and above all, we know our right. That is the most important thing. The right you created, the laws you made by yourself, and now today we are taking advantage of this law that is for the best interest of our children, ourselves, and our unborn generation. Biafrans, stand your ground. We have come to end the slavery against our people. We have come to end the marginalization of the Nigeria terrorist state. We have come to end the injustice being meted on our people for ages. We have come to end the killings, injustice that Nigeria has, given to our people for almost over 100 years. And that history is being made today, and all of you are part of it. I am leading the liberation of Biafra without fear. And I will stand in front of the enemy until the end, when the whole world will know that indeed Gandhi has one head. The world will know that Mandela has one head, and Simon Ekpa have one head as well. Just like every one of you. I am here to end the suffering of Biafra people, and it will start from the December 2nd in Lakti, Finland, in a very holy city where I am, where I have been grounded to become what I am today. May God bless you, bless Finland, bless every country that have supported us so far, both secretly, physically, openly, and otherwise. And airborne, every one of you, on the progress we have made so far, especially on the issue of defense. Biafra defense has been very, very strong. We're getting stronger by the day. The Biafra Liberation Army and the Biafra resistance fighters has done tremendously very well. And I will invite the Minister of Defense to also have his 2-minute briefing the cabinet. Thank you.
Thank you, PM. So, Biafrans, so I agree to all the cabinet members present. Just like the PM just said, the defense of Biafra land is very strong. Our men are very motivated. They know that what they're doing is that they're fighting for their freedom as well. So we're all fighting for freedom. So our people are doing very well, and we're supporting them. So that's very, very important. I will thank all the federal government administrators, how they are also learning how to support our men on ground by providing some needed, supplies when there's need for that. So that's why I don't want to go really deep into it, because we're making our men, like our Dragon Fighter Marines and our Black Marines, in the peninsula, they're doing very well. We have some incidents, but we're still controlling the Abana. This regional headquarters in Abana, we're still controlling it partially, but we're fighting there. We're defending the area as well. And also on all departments, all the command fronts and the Biafra land in the mainland, we're doing very well. No, we have some challenges in Imo State, of course, but it's nothing that we cannot handle. So our men, our gallant men are doing everything, and they're winning. So we are winning. Biafrans are winning. So just to keep it there, all we need is support, more financial support, for the material that they need, So but we all have so far, while doing very well and managing all the resources that we have. Thank you, PM.
Thank you very much, Defense Minister, for that update. And of course, we have had a development, a few days ago with our alliance of with the Ambazonia leader, the president of Ambazonia Governing Council, Dr. Cho Ayaba, which the news came that he was arrested in Norway. And of course, on that regard, we have been able to establish contact with the Ambazonia, Governing Council to know exactly what is happening and what is going on. And of course, at this point, the information is still very limited, information we are getting, but it is one of the things that everybody should understand, that it is normal in a struggle like this. You have ups and downs, and you stay very resilient and continue to push. And at the end of the day, the end will justify the means. So I will invite the Director General of the Foreign Affairs Department or Ministry of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile and the Homeland, Professor Joy Irobi, to give us a brief of what we have gathered so far between the Ambazonians Alliance. Professor Joy Irobi, over to you. You have 2 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, dear friends. So to go straight, so we I had a meeting with the Ambazonia team, and it was not well, they were a little bit unsure, and of course it's very understandable. A lot of things are ongoing, but it's kind of kept quiet. So what is important is that they wanted us Biafrans to speak strongly and condemn what is ongoing. And that's what we're also doing, using the social media to really speak strongly against what is ongoing, and also basically looking at the relationship between the Cameroon BIA with Switzerland and the tight relationship between Switzerland and Norway. It's all political pressure. So basically, everything is under control. So we are very close and at standby, waiting for the Ambazonia team to give us some update on what they want us to do. But it's very good that the whole of Biafrans are basically standing strong and really condemning what is ongoing. So it's I believe that this is an opportunity for Dr. Cho to actually showcase why it's very important for Ambazonians to be free. So it might look very terrible or very difficult, but without this challenge, we're not going to be free. So we see it actually as a positive thing, and this is going to end well. I want to stop here now. Thank you, PM.
Thank you very much, the Director of Foreign Affairs, the Biafra Republic of Exile, Professor Irobi. And of course, on the update from the last court appearance of the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we expected that what transpired in the last court should have happened long time ago, for the judge to step down because she can't convict Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And of course, with what we actually foresaw, we encouraged the leader of indigenous people of Biafra to make sure that he was not tried in the last court. And that actually what happened. So if you have listened to many analyses, they have said that he was kind of making a lot of he took the show by himself in the court and didn't allow the lawyers to continue, because it is not proper that you can't try a crime on top of a crime. So he actually took advantage of that, and that led to the judge from resigning from the case, which is what she should have done a very, very long time ago. And so we are expecting that there's going to be a change in this whole process. But remember that we are not expecting him to get justice in Nigeria court. That is impossible. And that's what we have been stressing from the one. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can never get justice. You don't expect a government, there's a terrorist government that went as far as going to another country to kidnap somebody and to come and give that person a justice. It's not possible. So every reasonable person should know this. And I'm very, very happy that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu understands this very well, and the message gets to him very, very well. Today, we are also getting information that the terrorist DSS did not allow the lawyers to visit him. It is also not a surprise to us. But one thing I would like to say here today to the lawyers who are still seeing him is that, you know, whenever I come to shout and cry like this, remember that there is something behind it. The problem Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have today is the ex-wife. She went to visit him, not because she wants to do something. She wants to know how he is doing. She wants to know how healthy he is. She wants to know everything surrounding him, how things are moving and how things are going. And she was very, very shocked that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was sound, health, and healthy. So what did she do? She needed to come out and start causing confusion in order to escalate. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is already getting himself somehow, he wants to cause more confusion. So the more they limit, although she's not going to go there again for a very long time, but the more they limit anything, communication or contact with the woman, the better for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu case. She was directly involved in sabotaging Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya. And a lot of people do not know what happened. There are a lot of information some of us have that many people who are shouting out there on social media do not have. And I am happy that his in-law, Master Prophet, is making some kind of revelation, which a lot of people are taking as a joke because of the kind of person he is. So a lot of people don't take what he's saying very seriously. But there are some things that he's saying that I personally know. And one of them is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu relocated to Kenya. He has made this thing public, and nobody is actually interested in digging deeper. The reason he said Mazi Nnamdi relocated, he did not say he went to Kenya, he relocated to Kenya. And I am not surprised. He was also making comment that say anybody, any woman that is hitting the husband. Have you people listened to the latest video of Master Prophet? You know, he is the person he is. He's not, you are not supposed to take everything he says very seriously, but there are some certain things that he's saying that some of us, somebody like me, I know very well that it is the truth. He was making a video the other day and say a woman that is hitting the husband is not supposed to, you know, be a wife. A woman that is chasing the husband out of the house is not supposed to be a woman. A woman that is holding the man in the shed is not so. So all these things, what he was saying is actually what this woman did to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in their house. And he went further to say, because the woman feel that in Europe, a man cannot react, it means that this was what actually was going on in their house. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had to leave the house. So if a woman who have done all these things to the husband, you think that that woman will want the best of the husband? The answer is no. So I want everybody to understand that many things that we know that many people don't know, it is still going to be in the public. But listen to what this Master Prophet is saying lately, not like when he was carrying baby and looking for Simon Ekpa to kill, you know, all those ones are, now everybody's brain is coming back because they have done, and now it is time for people to, you know, say the things the way it is. So if she can do all these things to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which many people don't know, you know, up to the extent of, chasing him out of the house. And during the time of Nelly, a lot of things, a lot of information we have, or we are just holding on, to know how things will go. So there are a lot of things that is happening. Of course, Nnamdi Kanu is not in a position at this point to make certain decisions because he doesn't know what is happening out there. So, but the lawyers now are the people I am talking to. And I know they're going to listen to this because everybody's waiting for this meeting. So I'm talking to the lawyers. The more they limit any access, any information, and let me also say it here. The only reason why she went to Abuja was because she's no longer getting information. Information is not coming from Ejimako. Information is not coming from the Maxwell. Information is not coming from the other Ejiofor, the other lawyer. So she was not getting information anymore, just like the criminals in the DOS. They're not getting information anymore. So she needed to go to see things herself, to know the condition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And when she went there, she saw of which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cautioned her, warned her very well that if you attack Simon Ekpa, you'll be divorced. Openly. She came back and she ran mad. So what is happening now is that we don't need to, give credence to whatever that is happening. Biafra is not a family property. Anybody who is very competent and capable can fight for Biafra. And that is what all of you who have gathered, sacrificed everything, your money, your time, your profession, and your everything you have, including your security, you put it into the struggle to see the kind of progress we have made today. Do not allow anybody to make you believe that the struggle for Biafra belongs to a certain people. No. What we are doing today is we are giving our service, our promise. The promise I made to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is that I'm not going to betray him. And as long as he have not betrayed Biafra, I will stand by him and for him till the end. That is my promise, and that promise is not just to him, but it is between me and God. So every one of you who have supported this movement up to this point, that we are now globally, that we are now in the US Congress, that we are now in Washington, D.C., we are now in the discussion of the American policymakers, what has never happened in the history of Biafra, including during the war. I want every one of you to understand that the progress we have made so far, we have not made, Biafra in the history have not made this progress, even during the Biafra war. So put that at the back of your mind. We have breaking the doors and the jinx that has held Biafra back for many decades. I remember all of you when I said that it is a step-by-step process. I told you that the time is coming when we are going to now focus on the diplomatic fight of Biafra liberation. That's where we are today. We have set every institution of the government. We have made sure that all mechanisms that we are supposed to have before we start going to the people to knock at the door of the people that will make Biafra to come and recognize Biafra, we have to put those mechanisms and everything in place. We have done that. We have achieved that. And so, which is the reason everybody is listening to us. When you want to go and they have to ask you, where is your map? What have you done? We have even gone as far as conducting self-referendum. In the self-referendum have recorded sources. It is not only that, we've been able to hold Nigeria in a very, very tight corner. For the past 3 years, the Biafra people have given vote of no confidence by every Monday sit at home to every representative of Nigeria in Biafra land. So we have been able to delegitimize Nigeria using multidimensional approach. So what I'm trying to say here is that do not let anybody to bring you back to the age of the stone, thinking that Biafra struggle is for a family or for a certain people. No, it is not. We are only here to make sure that the promise we made to our fellow human being and our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that we did not break that promise. And we continue to stand on this promise till he comes out. And if he did not back down on Biafra, we will continue to stand on the promise. But the good news is that, like I said, he is going to be released in a very historic way. I want you to listen to what he said in the last court. He said the persecution of Ndi Igbo will end with him. because he knows what is going on. He knows that the end has come. He knows that we are going to be the end of this whole thing. He knows that by the time we finish with Nigeria, we are going to hand over freedom to our new generation. And that is where the whole persecution of Ndibo ends. So if you understand that word very well, when I told you I am going to take word, I take word inside the heart of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that thing he said in court actually have, vindicated me, because it is in line with our thought. It is in line with everything we have said in this process of liberation. And of course, those who have been the criminals killing our people, he talked to them as well. You remember when our people were carried, when they pushed our commanders, in helos, and they would drive them across Biafra land. They have killed this one, they have killed baby, this, they have killed that. You remember how they have killed our people. So he was talking to the criminals who were making kidnappings and killing our people. You know that there is the one they call Madubugo, who was the commander of ESN. That one is gallivanting in Abuja. He lives in government house. So that one was part of the kidnapping ring of Ifeanyi Ejiofor. He was into kidnapping. He kidnapped the the former commissioner of utility in Anambra State. This information is public. I called the man's name. It is on social. It is on media. Nigerian News reported it. They swore oath with this man, and they were collecting 30 million. I have called on this man to come out and deny what I'm saying. If it is a lie. They swore oath. They kidnapped this man, give him oath in the bush, and release him after collecting ransom. This Madubugu. And today, with my exposition, maybe the man may have gotten his freedom of paying them 10 million every time. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped newly in 2021, this man was the one sponsoring them sponsoring Ejiofor going to court in Abuja, just for formality. Every time that is court, this man will give them 10 million. And he give this 10 million to Madubugo. Madubugo will take cash and go to Abuja and give Ejiofor 3 million. I have every information. So now, this man, I have challenged Soludo. Your commissioner was kidnapped. Can he come to tell Biafrans or Nigerians who believe in Nigeria, who kidnapped him, who gave him oath? I already told him that oath they gave you will never do anything to you. And of course, which I believe he have realized by now, because I don't believe he's still paying them after the exposition. So now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was talking to people kidnapping people in Biafra land. He's talking to them. Today, ask yourself, why is that Madubugo, who was this ESN commander, is no longer going to the court to kiss Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? That is the question that everybody should be asking. They were the one who goes to the court to kiss Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Why is he no longer going to the court? He was talking to those criminals. But you know what they do? They say, oh, he was talking to Samanakpa. What is Samanakpa a kidnapper? I am fighting Nigeria government, Nigeria terrorist government, fighting the army who comes to kill our people, who killed the IPOB even when I was not in Biafra struggle. These are the people that our guns are against. And they know that very well. But because they have collected money thinking that will stop me, and they have not stopped me for the past 3 years. And here we are, surging ahead into the declaration of the independent state of Biafra, the redeclaration and restoration of independence of that Biafra, and all of them are running mad. So my people in the cabinet, I want every one of you to just beat your chest, shake yourself, clap for yourself, because you have done something nobody else have done in Biafra struggle. You have made a history that nobody else has made. Today, because of you, we have scattered the entire United States Congress, and everybody is now posing with Biafra Charter. They now come to understand what is Biafra. They are interested in knowing more about Biafra, and many dignitaries are hopeful to embrace our convention in Finland, and that is going to be another history from this 29th of November to 10th of December 2024. We are going to make history and be part of this history. Do not let anybody distract you. No matter the propaganda on social media, it is going to increase. Do not let them distract you. Be focused and focused and focused. Thank you very much.
That Nigeria has been on a societal slide and seated on a time bomb. And now they want to turn Biafra land to their refugee camp. I welcome the Prime Minister to the stage as he addresses the recent happenings that seeks the attention of the Biafran government. Prime Minister, His Excellency Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra, welcome to the stage, sir.
Greetings, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're listening from, fellow Biafrans all over the world. I welcome every one of you to this emergency space this afternoon from our location. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press that are listening from your various locations. Whenever the need arises for us to address the Biafra people and keep them informed on the current affairs as the Biafra liberation, the declaration of the restoration of independence state of Biafra comes close and closer. Today, I have come to this space to once again give a warning to the Nigeria terrorist state and the representative in Biafra land who want to turn Biafra land into refugee and IDP camp, to understand that for the fact that the Biafra government has sacrificed everything to make Biafra land a peaceful, secured place in the entire Niger area, does not give them the audacity to begin to import terrorists because they have failed to use them, those of them in the military and police, to infiltrate our land, as the Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra resistance fighters are engaging them head on. Today, Biafra land has become the most safest place in Niger area. And these people who have not provided enabling environment for our people, they have castigated every effort of the Biafra government. They have used propaganda to pilot how Biafra land is not safe, how insecurity is everywhere. And today, we have seen the reality on ground that Biafra land is the only place where they see that is a secure place for them to import internally displaced so-called people from the northern Nigeria into Biafra land. I have come this afternoon to inform them that Biafra land is not yet secured for any refugee, for any IDP camp from northern Nigeria or from anywhere else. We have not secured our land. Our land will become secured only when Biafra have a total control on Biafra territory, and of course, when we have regained our independence and control our land without any infiltrator from the Nigeria terrorist army and police. Then, it is only then Biafra land will become safe for refugees. For now, anybody coming to Biafra land, your security is not guaranteed. Wherever you are going to stay in Imo State, in Abia State, in Enugu State, or any part of Biafra land, as long as we are still under Nigeria, where Nigeria continue to perpetrate these crimes against the people, indigenous people, you are not safe in Biafra land. And so, I am warning on behalf of the Biafra government, whoever that is involved in pushing the so-called internally displaced people, which are terrorists, as far as we are concerned, we can never trust anything from Nigeria. So northern Nigeria has been overrun by terrorists sponsored by the Nigeria state for only one agenda called Islamic agenda. And today, people are being moved from northern Nigeria to Biafra land that they hate with passion. And as they are moving them from the ancestral land to Biafra land, according to them, remember that strangers have already occupied their land. Ask yourself, who are those occupying the land of the people that today have found or are looking for a safe haven in Biafra land? That Biafra land they say Simon Ekpa is destroying. That Biafra land they told you that Biafra army have destroyed. That Biafra land they told you that Simon Ekpa is bringing insecurity. They have found safe haven and security in that same Biafra land. What is that? What does that tell you? It tells you that we have defeated Nigeria. It tells you that the Biafra government have succeeded in making Biafra land the only secure place in the entire Nigeria area. And the only agenda And the only motive they have is to continue to push for the destruction of Biafra land. Since they have not succeeded in using their military uniform and police to destroy our land, they now want to use the people they called internally displaced. There are places in Yoruba land, there are enough land in Yoruba land, there are enough land in Lagos. Lagos is secured. We are calling on them. The so-called president today is from Yoruba land. So Yoruba land is secured. They must move these people to Yoruba land or to other parts of Nigeria where they believe they have control over. Because Biafra land is not safe for them. I am telling you the fact. We can never guarantee any security of anybody from northern Nigeria in the name of coming to seek refugee. It is not yet time for you to come to Biafra land to seek refuge. We will grant you refugee. We will grant you asylum in accordance with international law. We will give you asylum protection only and only when Biafra become an independent state. At this point, we are in the state of war with the Nigeria terrorist state. Just the reason why they have chased you out of your ancestral land is the reason men have risen up in Biafra land and they are armed. All of you from northern Nigeria that are looking for safe haven in Biafra land, I want to inform you that our men are paying the price that will make our women not to leave their ancestral land and move to ADP camp. Men are dying for it. And for that reason, it is not yet time for us to allow anybody or any infiltrator from any part of Nigeria or from any part of the world to come to our land and live freely while people are dying and fighting the same government that has made your life miserable in your own country and your own nation and your own state. This particular emergency space today is to call the attention of whoever that is involved in this threat against Biafra people to understand that we will resist you in the morning, we will resist you in the afternoon, we will resist you in the night. And that facility that they say is a place where they are going to be staying and learn, I am telling you the fact, it is going to raise down. We will raise it down. You will come back to Biafra land when we have become an independent state, recognized by the United Nations. We are not going to be distracted by this shambolic love that these invaders and enablers in our land are trying to show. They never love you. I want those who have actually been deceived by their propaganda that Simon Ekpa is destroying Biafra land to ask yourself a question. Is it not the same Biafra land Simon Ekpa is destroying that they want to now, that they have found to be the only safest place for people in the northern Nigeria, displaced people in northern Nigeria, to come and live? It is not going to be possible. We are not going to say that we will not accept refugees when the time comes, but I'm just telling you today that now is not the right time for any person to come to Biafra land in the name of refugee. We do not have that particular atmosphere. We do not have that particular conducive environment. We do not have that secured environment for you who have been displaced in northern Nigeria to come with your hate and your terrorism to our land at this point. It is not going to be accepted by us, and we are going to resist it. So what I'm trying to say today is that those coming to Biafra land, your security of life and property will never ever be guaranteed. Not by the Nigeria state, not by the Biafra government. You're on your own. And whatever you see, you take. Do not blame anybody. This warning goes to whoever that is involved, the enablers in our land, Hope Uzodimma and his group, to understand that you know what we can do. And you know what we have been doing. If you think you are going to take this warning for granted, let them come. And the rest will be history. Thank you very much. I want everybody to ask very relevant questions, especially those who have been doubting our resolve in securing Biafra land. Today, your eyes should be open. That among all the states in Nigeria, it is the Biafra land that they say is insecure, Simon Ekpa have destroyed, is the only place they found secure to bring northern displaced people to have a refugee and have training in Biafra land. That is completely unacceptable. We are going to accept them when they have gone through our screening, which is going to be introduced by only Biafra government, and we are going to ascertain that the people coming are not terrorists. We will give them refugee status. We'll give them protection in accordance with international law. But at this point, anybody coming from northern Nigeria will be regarded as a terrorist. You never liked us, you hate us with impunity, and we will never ever accept you. So until Biafra become an independent state, we are in the state of war. And I hope you understand what is going on. So we urge those who are being deceived to understand that if you come to Biafra land, believe me, your security will never ever be guaranteed. And because we love human life, we respect life and dignity of people, and we want to put this warning ahead of time, because we are never going to sacrifice or compromise our own security for the security of anybody. The security of Biafra women and children is the utmost priority of the Biafra government. And we're not going to compromise that in order to be called good people, or in order to be people to praise us or anything. No. We don't need your praise. We don't need your acknowledgement. Our only responsibility as a government of Biafra is to make sure that our women will not be looking for a place to go and seek refuge in the southern Nigeria, in Yoruba land, or in the northern Nigeria, or in Middle Belt. We will make sure our women will be protected in our land, in Biafra land, and we are not going to leave our ancestral land for anybody. That particular agenda has been achieved by the Biafra government using the Biafra Liberation Army resistance fighters and all Biafra armed group that has made it possible that our land is today a secure place for people to even think of coming to build any facility for training internally displaced people in the northern Nigeria. Isn't that a very awkward situation?
Man, welcome the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile, de facto government in the homeland, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra, Maazi Simon Ekpa Njoku, to this emergency media press briefing. Welcome on stage, my Prime Minister.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Biafra people. Good evening from here, press. Ladies and gentlemen of the press that are seated in your various locations to listen to this evening space. I welcome you all, friends and lovers of Biafra, and of course, those who love and cherish freedom. My fellow Biafrans, I am very, very happy today, and at the same time, I am sad. I'm happy for the fact that you have shown the highest resilience in the modern freedom fighting. Your resilience is top-notch, and it is evidence of the job that we have done for the past 3 years. We made you go through the fire to become a diamond. Today, you have become a diamond. As a Biafran, you find yourself anywhere in Nigeria, you have become a diamond. And you must be very proud of yourself anywhere you are as a Biafran. Anywhere you are within the Nigeria state, you must be very proud of yourself, because your resilience has made you become a very precious stone within the Nigeria system. As a Biafran, I want you to be very proud of yourself going forward. We have conducted 4 successful days sit at home. Today was actually the highest in the history of our sit at home. Today recorded the highest compliance. I mean, even chicken was not in the street, not even a fowl. And the worst part of it is that nobody even want to go out to make videos. The today sit at home is the highest of it all. What does that tell you? It tells you that Biafra government has defeated Nigeria. And it tells you also what to expect after the Biafra declaration in December. We will shock Nigeria and the world. I'm very, very happy that the result of the template to the liberation of Biafra is coming out to the public and to the world, especially to those who doubted our resolve from the beginning. You must remain fearless before your enemy. Our slogan, as you know, is freedom or die. The die is not for us, it's for the enemies. And I want everyone to understand that Nigeria has collapsed. I want to use this opportunity to send, on behalf of the Biafra government, our condolences to people in Maiduguri, people who have lost their loved one today under Nigeria. In the name of protesting, I am sending my condolences on behalf of Biafra government to those in Maiduguri that lost their loved one. It may surprise you and shock you today that Nigeria Terrorist Air Force conducted air bombardment on people in Borno State, and they killed hundreds from airstrike. Did you hear it anywhere? I am asking you, did you hear it anywhere? Of course, you can't. So we send our condolences to the family that have lost their loved one in the air bombardment of the Nigeria Air Force today in Maiduguri. At the same time, we want to commend waiting now. Stood their ground to fight, even though we are not fighting or we're not protesting, we don't have the same ideology, but we have some kind of alliance. So the encouragement, we will continue to do. Those in Gombe, you must continue to stand very strong. They made sure that 3 ministries in Gombe was raised today. That is the consequences of the killings in those areas. In all this, we are very, very clear. Any day, anywhere, Biafra become a victim. The Biafra Defense Forces must be standing by. We will move to the street. This is not going to disrupt our template to the liberation of Biafra. The resistance fighters, the Biafra
I don't know why
forces,
everybody is going. You are standing here to eat food. What kind of labor is this one now?
The Chief of Army Staff Criminal Terrorist Staff has issued a threat.
Because everybody will come out here since all of you are standing here eating food.
And I know
what kind of silly behavior is that one?
When they issue this threat,
why wouldn't you eat when others were eating?
They are not intervening anything. The target is Biafrans. And this time around, we have army, we have defense forces that have stood, defended our land, killed them.
If you get to school, when others are eating, eat. Eat your food, drink your water, eat your food. When every other person is eating.
The fighters,
do you see anybody eating as they were going home?
Both those in the reserve.
You will leave it in your bag and play. Probably look at other people while they eat.
To stand by. When the order will be given for the street, it will not be public. So they don't know what is
the food was given to eat, not to put in your bag. So eat.
Liberation struggle.
This is the last time I will see you carry food away.
Our dynamics
eat it when you are so eat.
Probably on a monthly basis. I told you people that the month of July will be a very interesting month that you can never forget. And I want you to take your memory back to the, month of July. The history that we have created can never be wiped away when you talk about how Biafra fought their way out of Nigeria. July will everly live in the mind of these terrorists and their sponsors. In the month of August,
don't run anywhere.
The double of the month of July. What it means is that you will hear news from Biafra land. We will never allow terrorists to breed in our land. I want you to understand that we are not yet in the declaration stage. We have not declared Biafra yet. But our target and objective is to make sure that Nigeria will never breed in our land to kill our women and children again and go free. The promise of this government of Biafra is that every Nigeria present will be neutralized in Biafra land. Every Nigeria present. I mean every Nigeria present. Because Nigeria is evil, Nigeria is dead, and the earlier we eradicate death from our land, the better for us.
Understand.
Nigeria is
And
dead. That is what Nigeria represents. Nigeria represents blood of innocent people, and Biafrans has paid the biggest price. I must thank all Biafrans for this particular loyalty and mandate given to the Biafra government in exile and the de facto government in homeland. I want you to understand that this is the very first time in the history that exile government have politically
I know you finish your water.
control its territory to a very highest degree. There has never been any time, even in those days when the freedom fighters were in very unity and in unison, where they embrace each other and come out, forget about their differences to fight. There has never been in the history where they have the kind of control over our territory like the Biafra government in exile today.
Let's go.
Biafra Republic government in exile. What that means is that we have defied every strategy that Nigeria have used in the past and in present and even in their future. We have been able to conduct self-referendum that is ongoing. The self-referendum have recorded 49 million. You know, when they heard 30 million vote, they were surprised. How you don't mind them. One man was on the TV and was talking rubbish. Oh, now he claimed he has recorded 30 million vote. He also, you know that he does palliative. And I want Sonny to get that video, if you have it. So you can play it here. I want the listener to listen to that particular voice, where that man was making comment that Simon Ekpa is giving palliative. That's why people are listening to him. Also, he claimed he has gotten 30 million votes. Today we are 49 million. 49 million people of Biafra have voted and given us the power to speak for them and make decisions for them. That is the highest true democracy, which Nigeria and many African countries never offered their citizens the right to decide their future. We are bringing that particular true democracy to Africa. And the voting is still ongoing. And they were wondering, how is this guy, how is this government, how is this Biafra doing this thing? We are doing it because while you were busy talking rubbish on social media, we were busy researching on how to destroy Nigeria from within. Anywhere we want to see the visibility for Biafra to speak in a language Nigeria will never understand, in any part of Nigeria, we have the capability to do that. When people are saying, oh, why do you bring war into your doorstep? What you don't know is bigger than you. As we are fighting to exit, there are many people in the north that believe that the exit of Biafra will change their future for good, and we identify ourselves with them. We will stand shoulder to shoulder with these people in the north. I will not make any further statement, but let us watch how this whole protest goes. Like you know, the Biafra people can never ever protest for the betterment of Nigeria. But I am very, very glad, happy, and will be waiting when their terrorist army will be unleashed on the innocent people and let a Biafran who is in his shop or in her shop get killed. Then you will see madness. You know, they thought they are the only one who know what is violent. We will teach them what is violent. We will teach them that the self-defense, which is enshrined in international law, Biafra people know how to defend themselves, and we know how to activate those laws of self-defense. Like never before. Where you'll be wondering what is going on, just like you are wondering today. Some of them, you see them on social media, they are
if you are staying in my front, make sure I don't talk.
I don't have your time.
Because when you enter front, you will just be walking slowly.
I am fighting to defend the defenseless women and children of Biafra that has fallen victim of Nigeria for decades. Nobody has ever risen up to confront Nigeria the way we are doing today. And nobody will ever do.
This your bag, this thing that is drawing on the floor, you cannot keep it until I do it for you.
Nigeria. Mark my word, because
I didn't see it,
Biafra is declared and we fight against them and defend it.
Bring it out.
Nigeria
is no longer existing. It does not matter whether the name Nigeria is retained by some people, but the name Nigeria, which Biafra was part of, will no longer exist. So I will be the end of Nigeria. It does not matter the threat and those planning to come and attack Simon Ekpa somewhere. I will not speak for that. But you know, you have tried 4 times. First one, second one, third one, fourth one. This is the 5th one. I am waiting for all of you. But my promise is that you will never go back. The spirit of Sisu is what we are using to fight against a terrorist state called Nigeria. This is a Sisu spirit, which only the Finns understand. I have come to know what is freedom. I have come to understand that freedom is precious. And one thing that makes me laugh sometimes is that I listen to these people and watch those people fighting for one Nigeria and I laugh. You can never fight one Nigeria like me. Would you believe that somebody like me was in the forefront of supporting Atiku in 2019? Even leading Atiku campaign in Europe. You can never be one Nigeria more than me in the past. So when I look at you today, dying for Nigeria, I just laugh because there are many things you don't know. But if you do, you will ever regret going out to the street to protest for end bad governance. It's a waste of energy, waste of life, waste of resources, and channeling your energy to the wrong channel, which can never bring anything. Nigeria is not designed to be a better country. Nigeria was not formed to be a country where you are going to be competing with other nations. Every competition that is coming from Nigeria is individual competition. Individual competition in business, individual competition in sport, individual competition in academics, individual competition in everything. Nigeria does not have anything to compete with anybody or any country anywhere in the world. And you know why? The agenda is caliphate-based agenda. In 1989, they had a conference in Abuja called Abuja Declaration. How many of these people in the street of Nigeria today, especially from the south, knows the content of Abuja Declaration of 1989? None of them. Even if they know, they think it doesn't matter. And that is exactly what the politicians have done. They decided to make sure that you are a dundee. You remain a fool. Oh God. Do you know what these people did to us? While other people in the world, other children in the world will be developing their brain in critical thinking in school, they will bring some certain things to make it form some object. From kindergarten, they will be telling them how to bring some object and make it form something to develop their critical thinking. In our own, in Nigeria, especially from the south, in the southern Nigeria, part of Nigeria. You know what they did? You know, many of you do not know why the southeast, especially, is very, very powerful when it comes to 419. You don't know the reason. Do you know? It was deliberately designed for you to become a criminal if you are from the southeast. With your academic curriculum. Some of you do not understand this Makija music that is today, after how many years? It is now everybody is doing go. You do not understand what the music is all about. You do not understand what is called reader. Do you know in your primary school you read reader? Many of you, do you remember what you read called reader? Do you know that everything in the reader was about tortoise? How the tortoise was a very smart animal or is a very smart animal. How tortoise is cheating every other animal in the animal kingdom. How tortoise will make sure that he cheat everyone and become successful in the animal kingdom. That was what they were teaching you in the southeast. In your
academic curriculum. Do you know why? That is the reason why you have 419 everywhere. That is the reason you see internet fraudsters everywhere from the southeast. That is the reason why you see all the crimes about smartness is because they taught you how to cheat, how to become something by cheating. Do you think that reader was being used in a note? The answer is no. I want you to refresh your memory back. What I'm telling you now, you can never think about what I'm telling you now, until now that I'm saying it. This go was also how the tortoise went and deceived elephant, cheated elephant, and become the husband to the princess, and become rich by deceiving elephant in the name of Enyina Agana Epogenazu. And the elephant was asking, what did you say? I say Agaba. Now so brother. Meanwhile, after reading these books, everything as a child, growing up in primary school, is how to be smart like the tortoise. They develop us to be thinking how to cheat. We are going to change it in Biafra. Biafra will become an innovative country that will teach children critical reasoning, critical thinking, so that when you understand that a Nigeria is not designed for people like you, you will stand up against it. When a government is designed to enslave you, you will stand up against it. In Biafra, we will change everything, that when politicians in Biafra do anything, you as a citizen will stand up against it. The Biafra law will become supreme, and we will know that this way we are enjoying in Finland and other parts of the world is because of the system that is deep-rooted in innovation and critical thinking from childhood. People develop how to become something, how to invent something. Science, technology is what they teach them. Why your own is to teach you how a tortoise is deceiving an elephant. And that is the only way you can become a successful person in the society. That is the only way you will become the king of the animal, kingdom. Is to be very smart to cheat everyone around you. Today, the society, the Nigeria is falling apart as a result of a design educational curriculum that was not intended to make you a better person, that rather to make you a failed state, failed society. And we have come to reason up and say we will not continue with this evil entity. Go anywhere in the world, when you have Africans there and you have criminals in prison, if you see 50 Africans in the prison, Nigerians will be 40. Go to the United Kingdom. Why are they in prison? Criminal activities, cheating, faking, drugs, everything. Because it was the base that they were taught from the childhood, how to cheat. That's why Nigeria is not bothered. When they hear you are a Yahoo boy, you are making money, they're not bothered. Have they put anything in place to fight against it? No. In fact, many parents are even supporting it because they were also part of the tortoise story. They were also part. They were the one buying you the books now, the reader. They are the one buying you the books of the story of tortoise. Every day, tortoise is going. He met ghost on the way, and the ghost, they draw the ghost with big head. Tortoise would bring a drum and was beating the drum, and then it was all about how to cheat ghosts. Even ghost, tortoise cheated the ghost, and he was started beating the drum, and palm fruit started falling. The tortoise manipulated the ghost and cheated them. And today, Nigeria has fallen. Everything has fallen. The politicians are criminals, police are criminals, army are criminals, president is a criminal, vice president is a criminal,
go now, go.
It was a very well-grounded criminal entity. And you are wondering, how are you going to solve this problem? You can never solve it. Nigeria can never, ever, ever be revived. And our job as people that have been trained
in a civilized world is to destroy Nigeria.
Walk this side, and this is road, please.
That's what we are doing. Anything that will
I'm
destroy
talking to
Nigeria
all of
today,
you, not you
bring
alone.
me in. Because that is the only way to save my people. Nigeria have killed my people even before I was born. I have come to say that I will never leave and pass this nonsense, evil and demonic entity onto my children. I will pass onto them freedom. That's what I have put my life on the line to make sure that after this fight, nobody else will fight anything freedom. What you are going to be fighting is to make sure that the legacy we are living today continues. If you have not supported this freedom, what exactly are you waiting for? They have called me agent of Nigeria. They have called me agent of APC. I am not bothered, because that is a name they will want to give you to demoralize you. Even the so-called APC and the government will be laughing. Look at these people, this guy that we are looking for a way to eliminate, they are saying he's a Nigeria agent. They will be laughing at you because you are an idiot. And they are not worried about the fact that some of you are calling me Nigeria agent, because they know it is a system that is designed for you to be a fool. Now you can't think, because you were never taught anything called critical reasoning. Bring one and bring two, join it together, make something out of it. From nothing. You can't do it, because you were never taught about how to develop something from nothing. In Europe here, in the Western world, they teach children how to develop something, make something out of nothing. And that is the thing we are bringing back to the Biafra land. And I promise Biafrans, I will bring friendliness to Biafra. Yeah. The government in exile, the structure we have built, is it not happening? We have been able to defeat Nigeria, even with their billions and billions of dollars. We defeat them militarily, we defeat them in everything, academically, structure, government structure, and everything. We have outsmarted Nigeria. And because we are laying a very strong foundation that nothing can destroy. If you think that we are joking, and you are yet to support Biafra freedom, wait till December 2nd. Everything we have done so far is public. We are not hiding our roadmap to Biafra. Like I said, we have gathered 49 million votes, counting, still counting, because this is the second stage, which will end in August. And then the third stage starts in September. 49 million already and still counting. Have you ever seen in Nigeria where election was conducted and you have 49 million votes? No. In the last election, we warned these Nigerians that what you need is not election. They call from ahead. I told them, you do not want election. The whole people contesting to become president of Nigeria are all criminal. The main three candidates, they are all criminals. Atiku is a criminal. Atiku embezzled money, Nigeria money that should have built hospital schools. Even if you use the money to build hospital schools, it is still going to crash because the foundation is faulty. Atiku took the money to America. He was indicted. He's a criminal. If it was in Europe or in London, in the United Kingdom, Atiku can never be allowed to contest the election. But in Nigeria, it is normal because it's a foundational problem. He contested. He bragged. Tinubu is a criminal. He was indicted in the United States for drug trafficking. Not only that, with other crimes that he has committed both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. Today, they found him worthy to become a president. We warned against the election. Nobody listened. They signed petition against me. Today, the same people that signed petition want me to ask Biafra to protest. It's impossible. Peter Obi is also a criminal. While he was the governor of Anambra State, he has money, $50 million in offshore account. When he was asked, he said he was advised. Is that excuse in the court of law that you were advised? But as a governor, you are not supposed to have offshore account. What I'm telling you is a fact, and that makes him a criminal.
plus other ones we don't know about. So if P2B was supposed to be in the United Kingdom, do you think, for those of you living in the United Kingdom, do you think with the money violating the law and the constitution of the United Kingdom by banking up to $15 million in offshore account, which he said he uses to service his business, do you think he will be coming out to contest election in the United Kingdom? The answer is no. So why is he contesting Nigeria? Because it is a foundational problem. You know, when we say it like this, I say, we don't like it. We will not like each other, especially those who are standing on the way of the success and the future we are trying to build for our generation. Those of us who come abroad to learn and want to bring back what we have learned. I did not just come to learn how system works. I've also come to learn how to become a beast to liberate my people. The country where I'm living, they fought like beasts against Russia. And the beast in them is called Sisu spirit. That is what I have possessed and possessed me. I don't know what you have in your own country where you reside, their history. Allow the history to pass through you and use that history to change your country where you come from. I have allowed the Sisu spirit of Finland to possess me and pass through me. Not only that, I have also allowed the system of Finland to possess me. That's why I am fighting tooth and nail. Putting my life online because they did also put their life online fighting against Russia to become what they are today. What I'm doing today is not against any law. You can't kill my people for many years and nobody does anything about it. Today we are killing you back without remorse. If you have the power to kill us first, do it. But if you are in Biafra land as a military, terrorist army and police, you will go down. I am telling you, if you don't go down today, you go down tomorrow. Even though they are not reporting it. We continue to eliminate all of you to protect our women and children. You have killed them enough. So we told them that election is not what they need. What they need is a referendum so that the people who have come to see light will choose their way, how they want to live their own life. You cannot be deciding for me. You cannot be telling me I must live with you when Akpabio is a criminal and become a Senate president. And I must come and see Akpabio, whom I know very well, that even in the worst country in the West, he can never be a councillor. I will look at all these things, I will swallow it. Allows people who do not know what future is all about to decide the future of my own children and my generation. That is impossible. Today, if they stand on our way, they will go down. You don't know what is coming. As you are looking at me, I have seen comments on social media that you are a heartless man. That is an understatement. I have no heart. And that is exactly what Nigeria needs. And you are going to see more of me. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was captured, I told you people that a time will come when you are going to know who Simon Ekpa is. We have not even gotten there. Wait, after the declaration. After December 2nd, you will see madness in the highest order. I welcome every one of you. I thank you, Biafrans, for believing in me and following my instruction. And today you see I have saved your lives. Many lives have been saved, even though they will still come from the backyard to kill you. But of course, not all of you will die. We will defend you as many as we can. The remaining people that make it alive will enjoy Biafra and enjoy freedom. Freedom must come.
Biafrans, thank you for saying. I'm so sorry about the noise, the background noise. I didn't know the microphone was open. And this is one of all the State of the Nation broadcast our Prime Minister made. I would like us to listen to this as well. Thank you.
Claimed nation in Africa, one in fact that borders Amazonia itself, the country of Biafra. If you want the quick answer, Biafra is a partially recognized secessionist state in West Africa that declared independence from Nigeria and existed from 1967 until 1970. Its territory consisted of the predominantly equal populated territories in the area, but what it is, the historical context, and the reasons that led to independence are incredibly interesting, so I urge you to stick around and find out. Let's jump into it. What is Biafra? Let's start with the basics. The word Biafra is derived from two Igbo words, Bia, which means come, and Fra, which means take. And Biafra, the country, was named after the Biafra Bay. Its region was home to various ancient kingdoms, mostly dominated by the Igbo people, roughly in the area where Nigeria and Cameroon now are. A 1710 map indicates that the region with this name was one of great importance for European colonizers. And before we get into when Biafra declared independence and why, let's provide some historical context. Travel via the coast of Biafra is estimated to account for 13% of the total number of enslaved people taken from the western African coast. Despite some light Portuguese and then Spanish presence, the British were always the main colonial force, and in 1960, Nigeria became independent from the United Kingdom. Similarly to other new African states, the country's borders weren't exactly accurate when it came to old pre-colonial territories. The final organization was the one that most resembles the territory of modern Nigeria today, called precisely Colonial Nigeria since 1914. But before this, the colonial organization was actually more accurate and divided the territory into the northern and southern Nigeria protectorates. Northern Nigeria was a colony created from the territories of the old Sokoto Caliphate, as well as the even older Kanem Bornu Empire. These two were mostly Muslim feudal states living in a semi-desert environment, which even after British colonialism maintained some autonomy on the ground. While the Southern Nigeria Protectorate was different. It was created by the British to join three small colonies they had in that region. The Niger Coast Protectorate, originally called the Oil Rivers Protectorate. Here we can see a cool stamp from there with the figure of Queen Victoria. This territory had previously been controlled by numerous local rulers, such as the Aro Confederacy, the Kingdom of Benin, the Oron Nation, the Kingdom of Boni, as well as Atakpa, which the British renamed to Duketown. The Lagos colony centered precisely on the port city of Lagos, which conquered the territory from the local Yoruba people, and the Royal Niger Company, a mercantile company chartered by the British government for colonial purposes in Africa, was also key in this territory as it enabled the British Empire to establish control over the lower Niger River against German competition. A fun fact, the Royal Niger Company was eventually integrated with Unilever, a British-Dutch company that exists up to today and mass produces consumer goods. The role of private companies in the story gets even more surprising as we go on. In 1900, the Southern Nigeria Protectorate and Northern Nigeria Protectorate passed from company hands to the British Crown, at the urging of Governor Frederick Lugard. The two territories were amalgamated as the colony and protectorate of Nigeria while maintaining considerable regional autonomy among the three major regions, the Northern Protectorate, the Southern Protectorate, and the colony of Lagos. So now that we have that historical context, we can understand why the people of Biafra are arguably different from the rest of Nigeria. The British amalgamation of different ethnic and religious groups into one federation created internal tensions which persist in Nigeria up to today. Like I mentioned, the North was mostly Muslim and feudal upon colonization, while the South was animalistic, more tribal, with many of its people then converting to Christianity, both due to the British presence, but also in great deal because of Portuguese missionaries who accompanied traders and officials to the West African coast in order to spread Roman Catholicism. They had done this in the Kingdom of Benin, also known as the Edo Empire, even before the British had established full colonial control. Not only was there this key religious difference between people of the South and the North, but also their culture as African civilizations was different. In the South, there were people of the Igbo culture, as well as the Yoruba, the Edo, the Ibibio, and the Ijao. In the North, the Yoruba were partially present, but none of the other ones were. Instead, there were people of Hausa, Arabic, Fula, and Kanuri cultures. Save some native empires, these people were always ruled separately, some in the north and some in the south. And even the British did it at first, but then, for administrative convenience, they joined them up together. It's even on the record. The so-called amalgamation of Nigeria was planned by the British government at the time. We can find it in the report of the Niger Committee from 1898. This report stated that combining those three jurisdictions would reduce administrative expenses and facilitate deployment of resources and money between the areas. You can even access the document itself today. I'll leave a link for it in the description. And they even say themselves, it is worth noting that racial, religious, and cultural differences were not the ultimate deciding factor. Oh, and by the way, I also found this super cool annual report for the Lagos colony from 1898, where they list out the income, expenses, and other interesting details about the British colonial activity in that region. I'll post a link to this in the description as well. And here comes another mistake. Not only did the British ignore regional differences and decide to unify the colonies, but they didn't even fully commit to it. Each region had a native administration staffed by locals and headed by the traditional rulers, mostly emirs in the north and often obas in the south. But even worse, when the British granted Nigeria its independence, they ignored the previous mistakes, and the whole joint colony was given independence as a single state. So now it's 1960, and Nigeria is independent as one country, but within it there is more than only one nation. Ethnic tensions had diminished during discussions of independence. They sort of had a common goal, get the British out, but after they did, ethnic and religious riots began to take place, many of which targeting equal people, natives to this Biafra region. These escalated more and more, culminating in the 1966 Igbo massacre. About 300,000 people are estimated to have died, with 1 million being displaced. So after this, a group of military leaders from Biafra organized a coup to separate themselves from Nigeria and establish their own nation. In 1967, they held a vote, and the local governor declared independence as the Republic of Biafra. Their chosen flag consists of a horizontal tricolor of red, black, and green, charged with a golden rising sun over a golden bar. The 11 rays of the sun represent the 11 provinces of Biafra. The colors were taken from the coat of arms of the Eastern Administrative Region, and in turn, that coat of arms was based on the colors of the Pan-African flag. Because of this, it's similar to, for instance, the flags of Kenya and Malawi. It was also the inspiration for the flag of the short-lived Republic of Benin consisting of the Biafran-occupied Midwestern region of Nigeria. This is a little bit of a tangent to the story, but the Republic of Benin, which by the way has little or nothing to do with the actual country of Benin today, was another territory of Nigeria which Biafran separatists occupied. It wanted to remain neutral in the conflict, but Biafra was scared that the non-Igbo population would side against them, and so they established a puppet state there, naming it after the region's capital, Benin City, and using a very similar flag to the one they used in Biafra. The strategy backfired though, and the Biafran occupation of this region turned residents against the secessionist cause and was even used by the Nigerian government as supposed justification to escalate the war against Biafra. But let's get back to the main story. What happened after the Declaration of Independence? Nigeria obviously didn't like or accept this, and so they declared war and invaded the separatist region. The Biafrans weren't alone though. They were formally recognized as a sovereign state by Gabon, Haiti, Ivory Coast, Tanzania, and Zambia. This is an odd example. Usually these secessionist states are recognized by no one, and many other nations provided military or diplomatic support. Portugal, France, Spain, Israel, Rhodesia, Norway, South Africa, and the Vatican, as well as non-state actors such as Médecins Sans Frontières and some Catholic institutions. In fact, it seems the widely useful and well-known Médecins Sans Frontières was actually created because of the conflict in Biafra. Some countries were also more active than others in their support. Portugal, for instance, provided weapons and munitions, as well as medicine and food, which were airlifted from São Tomé e Príncipe. The new country's currency was even printed in Portugal in their national mint. It's odd how the regime supported an independence movement in Africa, but at the same time repressed independence movements in their own African colonies. France's role was also key. There are some reports of French oil company Elf Equitan taking part in aiding the Biafrans. After all, South Nigeria is where the country's valuable oil reserves are. The whole south of the country is richer due to its environment and coastline. One of the arguments for the British wanting to unify the two colonies was precisely to help financing the north via the south's income. The French bet on supporting the Biafrans was to establish a profitable relation in the future to exploit those oil resources. The United States were officially neutral, but there was strong public support for Biafra. The American Committee to Keep Biafra Alive was founded by American activists to spread pro-Biafran propaganda. And US President Richard Nixon was sympathetic to Biafra, accusing Nigeria of committing a genocide against them and calling for the US to intervene in the war to support them, being ultimately unsuccessful in his efforts due to the costs of the Vietnam War. Other than oil, one of the reasons why, for instance, France or the US sided with Biafra was the fact that Nigeria was supported by the Soviet Union, along with Egypt, in the conflict, as was the case with many other African nations at this time. The war lasted for 3 years, and by 1970, the consequences were awful. 100,000 soldiers died between both sides. The Biafran forces, although initially successful in some battles, were ultimately overwhelmed by the larger and better equipped Nigerian army. Over 2 million Biafran civilians died, both from the conflict but also due to famine, a consequence of Nigeria's naval blockade of the region. Foreign support was not enough to aid them, and so they were forced to surrender to Nigeria in order to stop the complete destruction of their people. Not only was the conflict devastating for Biafra and its population, but the aftermath was also not good. After the surrender of Biafrans, some Igbos who had fled the conflict returned to their properties but were unable to claim them back from new occupants. In addition, after declaring its independence, Igbo people withdrew their funds from Nigerian banks and converted them to the new Biafran currency. But after the war, the same couldn't happen, and bank accounts owned by Biafrans were seized, with only £20 being attributed to each person. Federal projects by the Nigerian government in Biafra were also greatly reduced compared to other parts of the country, and all of this led to an even lower trust in Nigerian authorities by the Igbo people. The flag of Biafra, for instance, has also been banned. Because of this, Igbo nationalism emerged immediately after the end of the conflict, and it became more militant since the 1990s, calling for the revival of Biafra. Various Biafran secessionist groups have emerged, such as the Indigenous People of Biafra, the Movement for the Actualization of the Sovereign State of Biafra, and the Biafra Zionist Front. The point is that the people still feel discriminated against there and believe the issues that led to the conflict have not been adequately addressed. Both the discrimination, but also the unequal distribution of resources, many of which come from their region itself. If they were to become a country today, they would face numerous challenges. They would have to recover their currency, established government institutions, and military forces, but with some foreign aid and Nigeria not being against it, it could work, and the Igbo people could finally regain a country of their own. It would be decently sized at 77,000 square kilometers with a rich coast and many natural resources that, if adequately explored by themselves, could finance the country's development and recovery after the conflict. However, the reality is, if Biafrans were unable to win a war against Nigeria in the past, it's unlikely that they would now, or in the near future. It sadly seems that the position of Igbo people is more precarious than ever. If independence is out of the question, then another solution must be found. So the key to resolving this issue would likely be addressing the underlying grievances of the people in what is now known not as Biafra anymore, but southeastern Nigeria, and finding a way to create a more equitable and just society. This will require a commitment from both the Nigerian government and the secessionist groups to engage in meaningful dialogue and find a peaceful and sustainable solution. So, that is a brief overview of another temporary country in Africa that a lot of people don't know about, Biafra. How the region was initially ruled by the natives through various kingdoms and empires, then being captured by the British and one of its chartered colonial companies, being part of the Protectorate of Southern Nigeria, and eventually being unified with Northern Nigeria by the British due to administrative convenience, but ignoring the key differences between the two regions, most of all, religion. Upon independence, the mistake in these artificial European-made borders was kept, and Nigeria as a whole was granted independence, ignoring the different people of these nations. The persecution of the Igbo people led to their declaration of independence, sparking a terrible internal conflict with Nigeria that led to even more destruction for them and their eventual surrender. What do you think about this? Should Biafra be able to become its own country? Let me know in the comments along with your opinions and thoughts.
Are saying we want to be free. It's not only Biafra that is going to be free this year. A lot of nations will break. Nigeria is going to break into pieces, and we, the Biafra people, are going to make it possible. I am telling you now, it is not a hidden thing. It is going to happen soon. Those of you who are planning to have a election in 2023, which is next month, you are going to fail. We will disappoint you, and you will disappoint. You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making. And you must listen to him, very, very important.
Nigeria, on a daily basis, witness the impunity which is so-called Fulani herdsmen extremists who shared ethnic and religious identity with President Buhari and the Fulani elite, which now dominates all key institutions in Nigeria.
Open an investigation specifically into the wide-scale and systematic killing of the civilian population, and most notably targeting the indigenous people of Biafra.
Clear that now we put the Biafran issue on the radar screen of the government, of the Biden administration, of Congress.
Ongoing and wide-scale systematic killing of the civilian population, and again, specifically targeting the IPOB.
Of weapons being used against Biafrans, but affirmatively supporting an effort to have an independence referendum organized and conducted by the United Nations, as we've done in South Sudan.
Formally open an investigation and look into what we are identifying as a genocide that's being committed by the Nigerian government and extremist Fulanis against the indigenous people of Biafra.
There's been nothing in experience since 1960 to suggest there simply is not a way, given the history of division between the Fulani and the Biafrans, to think that they can coexist under a single sovereign roof.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, Biafrans all over the world. Welcome to this day as we take you on the progress so far of the Biafra liberation. This is the Biafra liberation briefing, where I've come this evening to update Biafrans on the progress we have made so far. I welcome you, ladies and gentlemen of the press, those of you who have seated on your various platforms to listen to this particular briefing this evening. I welcome you, lovers of freedom, friends of Biafrans all over the world, those of you watching from the Biafra different media platform, the Voice of Biafra, 97.5 FM in Biafra land, those of you listening to different and various YouTube channels and other social media platforms run by the Biafra Republic government in exile. I welcome all of you this evening. First of all, I would like to thank Biafra people for the progress we have made so far because of their resilience, their support, and the courage they have displayed so far. Without wasting any of your time, as we have waited for the past 30 minutes to start this particular briefing, I want to inform you today, Biafra people, that we have been able to have the state-by-state structure of the Biafra de facto government of the United States of Biafra. First of all, before going forward in bringing this particular update today, I would like to play a very significant video that many of you may have watched in the past.
In the southeast of the country, we're seeing the Indigenous Peoples Organization of Biafra, IPOB. They are protesting peacefully for the most part on a regular basis. And there has been video, I could show you some video that's been posted of a very...
No, thank you.
These are the images the president didn't want to see. They're on the internet and we can't verify exactly what they show, but it appears as though security forces were shooting at unarmed protesters in the southeastern state of Abia. This is footage I can't personally verify.
I want you to listen to that particular statement. Security agencies, which is known as Boko Haram, that were disguising as security agencies in Nigeria, has been killing Biafrans for ages. This is one of the examples and one of the reasons we are armed today. And of course, as usual, during this time, the Biafra people were without arms. And the president, as you can hear him, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to watch the image. And that is number one point I would like you to listen to and get from this point, because this particular briefing today is going to touch a lot on the security, the Biafra forces, the Biafra resistance fighters, the Biafra Liberation Army, and at the same time to the state structure that we are creating today. So let us continue.
But it looks as though the security forces have gone in very heavy-handedly shooting, and there were reported to be 7 deaths. I'm wondering, how are you planning to deal with this issue of Biafra? You, of course, have first-hand experience.
As 30 months ago, at least 2 million Nigerians were killed. And for somebody to wake up, maybe he wasn't born when there was a fighting in Biafra and said he was Biafra again. We have multi-party democracy system now. Let them organize themselves and vote for to have a state within a state, but to try and interfere with movement of troops, with economy, looking for Biafra, after losing 2 million people, I think they are joking with Nigeria's future, and Nigeria will not tolerate it.
All right. The second point I would like to bring to your attention this evening is what this man said. He said, "Let them organize themselves and vote for a state within a state," and that they are trying to interfere in the Nigeria affair. That Nigeria is not going to tolerate it. Anyway, unfortunately for them and him, we are now organizing ourselves. We now have a state within a state. And that's exactly what I have come to explain to Biafrans today for those who have been misled into supporting Nigeria Pressure Group. I want you to listen to what I'm about to do this evening, because as of today, we have been able to organize ourselves. We have been able to have a state within a state as of today until we have the declaration after the self-referendum, which is going to take place very soon. So this is exactly what many of you do not know, and probably he did not understand when he said all those things. Now, I do not need to go and start playing these videos because many of you have watched it. However, I want to inform you this evening that the process and the step-by-step to the liberation of Biafra from Nigeria. One is that for decades, for some of you who have realized from the beginning, immediately Mazen Amikano was kidnapped, that the people following him were criminals. And you realize it immediately, you jump the face to the autopilot. Then, you are very, very smart to have done that. And I give every credit to you, all of you, because it means that you saw tomorrow. It means that you are a visionary person. And today you can be very proud that the decision you took in 2021 was indeed a very right decision to support me, to support whoever that was with me then until today. You are going to write your name, or you already written your name in the book of history, because Biafra is here. Now, in all these years, are you hearing Biafra? For those of you who have joined Biafra struggle since it was Rike, there is nothing, there is no focus, there was no direction, there was no structure, there was nothing to show that you are indeed fighting for Biafra. And when we talk about Biafra, we are talking about a nation. We're talking about a country. For you to have a country, you must be able to organize yourself, build a government structure, build a government institution, not just shouting, you want freedom, and there is no structure, there is nothing that shows seriousness, there is no organized government institution to prove to the world that you're actually ready for freedom. That we have changed within 2 years. My fellow Biafran, as a Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, while I was the spokesperson of the Biafra people, we were able to put the required structures and government institution that the international community and every reasonable organization in the world will require from you to show seriousness that you are indeed ready for your freedom and ready for your country and ready for your nation. We were able to set up the Biafra government in exile. From the Biafra government in exile, we went into setting up the Biafra de facto government. From the Biafra de facto government, we are now working on state-by-state map and state-by-state structure. And for that reason, we have been able to come up with the Biafra name, official name, which is the Biafra United States of Biafra. And as of today, it remains 40 states. The 40 states may change from tomorrow. Tomorrow, we have given a deadline for every region, for every ethnic nationality that see themselves as part of Biafra to come up with their state structure. Tomorrow is the last date. So from tomorrow, we may have a slight change in the 40 state. It may be more than 40 state. It may still be 40 state, but change of names according to what the people actually want. So tomorrow being the deadline for every ethnic nationality within Biafra territory to submit their state structure, then Biafra people will be updated again. So you should be expecting another State of the Union address on the 5th of December 2023, where we will come to address Biafra again on the current and updated state structure and the number of states. Within 2 years, my fellow Biafrans, we have been able to set up Biafra forces for you to be able to be recognized as a state, for you to merit or meet the requirement to be listened to by any reasonable organization, including the United Nations, America, Europe, and every other, is for you to be able to show the capacity that you are ready to become a nation and to become a free country of your own. That is one. You must be able to show the capacity to control forces, army, military forces. These military forces, Biafra government in exile and the Biafra Republic government, de facto government in the homeland, has been able to have and unveiled the Biafra Liberation Army. The Biafra Liberation Army has been unveiled and they are very, very potent. The Biafra Liberation Army has been able to display the highest tenacity by defeating the Nigerian army in every attempt for them to invade our land. It is the reason the Chief of Defense Staff and every other Chief of Security in Nigeria went to the National Assembly to cry that Simon Ekpa has become a menace in Nigeria. It is not just by ordinary broadcasting on social media, it is because of what the Biafra forces has done. And that particular statement is a validation of the fact that Biafra has a military department. It is a fact that Biafra has army under the government. Even though they have not they are yet to start recognizing them and mentioning the Biafra Liberation Army, we know they are going to be forced to mention Biafra Liberation Army in due time, because we are changing the pattern of our offensive from this month of December. So Biafrans, we've been able to set up our Biafra Army. It is part of the requirement for you to become a nation. So those of you who have been, supporting the Biafra from Uwazurike up to this point, and without direction, without any structure, other than the structure of criminality, other than how they deceived Mazen Amdekano and sold him, that is what you who have deviated from supporting the Nigeria Pressure Group to supporting the real Biafra liberation movement of today, of which I am the Prime Minister, you have made a very wise decision. And I am this evening to tell you that the decision you've made has brought us this far. And I'm here to tell you step by step how a nation is restored. We have been able to do that. And again, the delegitimization of the Nigerian government within Biafra land have started in full force. We have announced the delegitimization of Nigeria, which is part of the Biafra liberation. This means that now we are focusing on making sure that all the terrorists in police uniform, all the terrorists in army uniform, all the terrorists in navy uniform, any army carrying or arm carrying terrorist under Nigeria state carrying arms, and you are in Biafra territory. Our aim is to make sure we neutralize you before you kill any Biafra. You are not there for the progress of the Biafra people. We continue to ban the military checkpoint, police checkpoint, And any checkpoint at all, be it Navy, be it Air Force, any checkpoint at all in Biafra land remain banned. And any day you will be attacked if you are in checkpoint. That you are not being attacked today does not mean that you are not going to be attacked tomorrow. That's why we continue to call on Biafrans to stay 1 kilometer away from any checkpoint. Our aim, our objective, and our target is to make sure we neutralize every checkpoint within Biafra territory. It is part of the Biafra government project. We also make it very clear that we are calling on the Nigeria state, on Islamic Nigeria state, to pull and withdraw every security agency from Biafra land. And what we have done also is for those who are asking always, where is your Biafra map? I want to inform you today that the Biafra government in exile and the Biafra de facto government have been able to work on the map of Biafra. The map of Biafra, where you have the present southeast, the present south-south, and also part of Benue and part of Kogi, Lower Kogi State. Lower Benue and part of Lower Kogi State. And those maps will be out officially from tomorrow, the 4th day of December. So for those who have been always shouting and abusing indigenous people of Biafra, led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, people like Tony Nadi, people like all those idiotic people who always shout, where is your map? Where is your map? We are proudly telling them today that Biafra has a map that the people by themselves organized, people by themselves structured, people by themselves organized, and they were all happy about the outcome of these maps and outcome of these state structures. If you are not part of it, it is normal. You do not expect everybody to be part of a liberation movement like this. People will agree, some people will not agree. And that's why when the time for the referendum comes, we are expecting some people against it. It is a normal thing. But the idea and the good news is that those who are supporting the liberation of Biafra are more in number. We have about 90% or 99% of Biafra people who do not want to be part of Nigeria again, running into 70 million people. So when they tell you all these years, where is your map? You are shouting Biafra. You have not consulted the people. You have not done this. You have not done that. Today, we have broken the jinx. And the people of the South-South, as they call it today, have been given the opportunity for them to come up with their own map, and they are working on that very, very diligently. And by tomorrow, we are going to have the complete map of the Biafra. And then you are going to see your state, your villages, your district, your counties, step by step, as we have done it. So the issue of map has also been addressed. This is one of the biggest challenges that the Biafra movement has encountered for ages. No map, no agreement, because what we're able to do is to give the people the opportunity to, by themselves, choose how they want to be governed and how they want to govern themselves, and also to be themselves resolve the issue of boundaries and map. That has brought us to where we are today. The issue of map has been resolved. Another issue that we are also going to inform the Biafra people today is the issue of the leadership in the South-South and the leadership in the Southeast. The leadership, those in the leadership, those in the political leadership, those in the religious leaders and all that, we do not need your voice. We no longer need your voice. We don't need you to speak good about Biafra. We don't need you to advocate for Biafra. Because Nigeria is a very volatile state. Now that we are completely Islamic state recognized by the United Kingdom, you do not have the freedom of speech. Once you side Biafra, you will be eliminated. And those of you who are general overseers in the church, once you talk about Biafra, your church will become a target. Either target of sanction, either target of closure, either target of persecution and intimidation. And we do not want that to happen to you, because you have not spoken up to this point. We are calling on all religious leaders, all political leaders who are having double mind, and they know that indeed Biafrans are not welcome in Nigeria. All you need to do is to support the current Biafra Republic government in exile financially. You need to support the Biafra de facto government in the homeland financially. Is to support the Biafra military, Biafra forces, and Biafra fighters financially. We don't need you to speak. Your voice doesn't add anything as the current Nigeria state as it is standing. The time your voice is needed is over. There is no amount of statement you are going to give today that is going to change anything. So what you need is to support the movement secretly, financially, in order to secure yourself when Biafra comes. Because without your finance, Biafra is indeed going to come. And I want to inform every Biafran who have been asking, when are you going to declare Biafra? You told us that Biafra is going to come in 2023. Indeed, you are already in Biafra government. You are already in Biafra land. You are already in Biafra as a nation. You have a state of your own. You have the military of your own. And we are going to work on the police, because police is going to be state by state police. So when you are expecting when Biafra is going to be declared, you are already in Biafra. We have actually systematically declared Biafra. And I want you to understand that what we are doing now is exactly the thing that the Nigeria Islamic movement did in the Nigeria Constitution. They restructured Nigeria, the Fulanis, they restructured Nigeria systematically. And today, you find out that it was not very difficult for them to have a Muslim ticket. While you are still shouting, it's a secular state, and you are going to church and shouting prayer, oh God, it's not possible, no Muslim can never rule the country. It is a systematic restructure. They have restructured it, and we have said this thing several times. So what we are doing now is, when you are expecting us to start fighting conventional war and start declaring Biafra, that is a nomadic way of fighting for freedom. What we do now is to put every government institution in place, to structure the government institution from A to Z, to have the government, the state government, to have the counties, to have the district, and then also appoint leaders to occupy those positions. And by doing that, you have formed a state within a state, and it is going to be a systematic way to also liberate Biafra. So while Nigeria have done their own, the Fulanis have done their own for many years, we are now starting to do the right thing since the beginning of the struggle for Biafra. This is the only time we have gotten it right. I am telling you, since the beginning of Biafra, this is the only time we've gotten it right. And by the time we finish setting up the state structure, we go a very ruthless offensive against Nigeria terrorist security in Biafra land, which is going to start very, very soon. And we are going to make sure we deal with them mercilessly until you see them no more anywhere in Biafra land. So this particular state institution is what is needed for you to prove to the international community, to whoever care to know, that indeed you have organized yourself. You have organized yourself, having a de facto government, having a government structure, running the government, which we are already doing, making sure that every government institution, you have created them. You may not have them physically. We are not going to have any physical structure at this point until we begin to evict the security forces with their weapons before we begin to talk about a physical structure. At this point, we are only creating the structures of the government institution to make sure that whenever we are called upon, we have something to present to the people who care to know. This includes the economic viability of Biafra. This includes every other government department, and this we have actually done and the next is going to be the currency of Biafra. The Biafra currency, before we go into that, we will make sure that a kind of Biafra coin is in play, and Biafra people will be able to start using Biafra currency in coin before the official inauguration or the official unveiling of the Biafra Central Bank. And for those who do not understand how this is done, we will continue to use Naira as long as we have not declared Biafra. We will continue to use whatever that we have within the Nigeria state until the day we declare Biafra. Before the declaration of Biafra, everything has to be put in place. You have to have the Biafra currency in place. You have to have all these state structures in place. You have to have everything, including the passport, in place. And today, we are not only putting these structures and institutions in the homeland, we are also putting the Biafra liaison offices, which will later become the Biafra embassy in different countries of the world. My fellow Biafran, I want to inform you people that from now going forward, those states that we witness killings of Biafra people, we are going to sanction them heavily. I want to appeal to every Biafran to understand that the freedom fighting is not something that you expect not to lose. You are going to lose. You are going to make sacrifice. And that sacrifice is something that you must do. So when we begin to impose certain measures, when we begin to impose sit at home or other civil disobedience, as the case may be, it is not targeted at punishing you, the Biafra people. It is targeted at delegitimizing the Nigerian government. It is targeted at weakening the Nigerian government. It is targeted at making sure that the power of the governors is reduced. It is targeted at making sure that the power of the governors is taken away from them, because these are the people that Nigeria planted in us, and they are not representing the interests of the people. They represent the interests of Nigeria state and their own personal interests. So the sit at home and other civil disobedience is not targeted at you, the Biafra people. Rather, it is targeted at showing how weak the system is. It is targeted at showing to the world that the Biafra people has rejected those illegitimate governors. It is targeted at showing to the world and to whoever care to know that the Biafra people are no longer interested in their leadership. It is to show to the world that Biafras are loyal to this government, which is the Biafra government in exile and the de facto government, which has now have its structure, well structured, both in diaspora and in Biafra land. So the sit-at-home civil disobedience is sort of come to the history at the end of the day, because you are making history today. And for that reason, the killing of Biafrans in Ihala and Uli, for that reason, we are locking down Anambra State tomorrow. And I want everyone to understand that tomorrow, lockdown in Anambra will be something you have never seen before. I want everyone to cut this video and share it to all WhatsApp group, all business and traders group, any shop or any market that open tomorrow. Believe me, Biafra people will deal with that market. It is the Biafra government that is ordering the lockdown of Anambra State. We will make sure that no government offices will be open in Anambra tomorrow. If any office open in Anambra, we will raise them down. If any government office opens in Anambra State tomorrow, it does not matter how long it's going to take. It does not matter how many months it's going to take. We will bring it down. That is the price you pay. And this particular civil disobedience is very, very important to punish the government of Anambra State, that you can never kill Biafra again and go free. To punish Soludo, to make Soludo, who is an illegitimate governor as far as Biafra is concerned, that all Anambra State have now forced it. To inform Soludo that he is no longer in charge of Anambra State, representing Nigeria. To inform Soludo that Anambra remain Biafra, and Biafra Anambra shall be. By tomorrow, every road leading to Anambra will be under curfew. I want everyone to understand what I'm saying. I did not say sit at home. I said curfew, 6 to 6. Anambra will be locked down tomorrow, 4th day of December 2023. Anambra will be locked down on the 5th, which is next tomorrow, the 5th December 2023, and the 6th December 2023. These 3 days is a day we are going to use to hunt down the killers of that little boy. This particular 3 days is the day we are going to use to hunt down the killers of Biafrans in Uli. Those people that killed those children, those people that killed that little boy in Ihiala, it is from tomorrow. From tonight, not even from tomorrow. From tonight, we are hunting them. So if you know that you are in Anambra State and you are a Biafran and you are wearing any terrorist uniform, from the army, from the police, from tonight, go and hide it. Believe me, go and hide it. You people have committed atrocities, war crime, genocide unchecked. And now we are checking it. So this particular order makes sure that no movement of any Nigeria terrorist in uniform in Anambra State, starting from tomorrow. Any place we see you, any place we see you moving with gun in Anambra State, from tomorrow, you will go down. It is to show you that you can no longer kill Biafra again. And let me tell you, after this particular sit at home in Anambra State, things will never remain the same. So fellow Biafra, like I said before, when you look at what is happening around the world, there are crises everywhere. There are war everywhere. We are not going into conventional war at this point. For those thinking that we are going to fight a war with Nigeria, we are already at war with Nigeria. And this war this time around is not a conventional war. It's a systematic war that anybody who steps his foot as a military man, as a police, to come to kill in Biafra land, you will be dead. You can never go back alive. I want to inform Biafra people that the Biafra Liberation Army from tomorrow is embarking on Operation Python must be killed. Killing the python. From tomorrow, the Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra resistance fighters will be embarking on Operation Killing the Python. Operation Killing the Python. Those python that danced in Biafra land and killed many Biafrans. From tomorrow, it is Operation Killing the Python, wherever they are. Any place you see them, bring them down. These are the people who have killed without remorse. They have no regard to constitution. They have no regard to law. They have no regard to international law. They have no regard to rule of engagement. They come, they kill, and nobody check them. And today, we are well armed to defend our land. And for that reason, the python must be killed. So from tomorrow, fellow Biafran, I want everybody to understand that any place you see any military car, any military van, any military terrorist van, any terrorist police van, run! Because to avoid getting hit by stray bullet, we do not want any civilian to suffer. We do not want any civilian or Biafra person to die. We do not want any scratch to happen to any civilian. It is our duty as a government to protect you. It is our duty as a government to make sure we provide the security that Nigeria has never provided for you since you were born. And that's why I will continue to shout, to give directive that you must stay very clear and stay away from any moving military vehicle, any moving military police vehicle, any security agent that carries gun in Biafra land, don't go close to them because stray bullet may hit you. Operation Python must be killed will be activated from the 4th of December 2023. Fellow Biafran, as we have completed setting up the Biafra de facto government, state structure, and other institutions, the Biafra liberation will have come to almost a conclusive end. And when the state starts functioning as it should be, we will then go into the data collection of the Biafra people. The data collection of Biafra people will be announced very, very soon. Solution is there. Those of you in diaspora will have access and opportunity to have Biafra national identity card. It's only open to the Biafrans in diaspora, and those in the homeland will only have the opportunity to have their data collected. The data collection is very important, very imperative in the pursuit for the liberation of Biafra, especially on the upcoming Biafra self-referendum. And when this starts happening, you are going to be informed. So my fellow Biafran, when they ask you what has Simon Ekpa done, what has autopilot in those days done, what has Biafra government in exile done, tell them we have actually restored Biafra. Tell them that we have constituted, we have formed a government. Tell them that we did not only form the exile government, we have also formed a de facto government. Tell them we did not just form a government, we have built and structured all the government institutions. That is the prerequisite requirement for a nation to stand. That's a prerequisite requirement for a nation to be approved. That's a prerequisite requirement for people who are serious organizations to know that you actually know what you're doing and you're actually ready to govern yourself. And like I said, we do not expect anybody from the the looters and corrupt leaders to support what we are doing. It is not for them. Biafra is not for them. Biafra is for those who have been deprived their right and opportunity for decades since the creation of Nigeria. It is not for those who Nigeria has made what they have become today. So we are not expecting people like Iwanyanwu to support Biafra. We are not expecting people like Abaribe to support Biafra. We are not expecting people like Opus Odema to support Biafra. They are already made by Nigeria, and they can never support Biafra, and they can never support the movement. So we are not expecting them to support, and they don't speak for us. In the next phase, we will look into banning Ohaneze from any activity in Biafra land. That is the next phase that is coming. But we are very, very busy in making sure that we organize ourselves very well, as the man who died, who called himself Buhari, said. That particular organizing yourself is very, very important. A lot of people did not pick that particular point from that man. And so I'm making sure that everything that we should do, we are doing it. We're making sure that what the international law requires as a nation to be recognized, as a nation to be approved, is being done by the Biafra government, both in the homeland and in exile. Today, I am very proud of all of you who have supported financially and otherwise to make sure that we are where we are today. I want you to understand that Biafra land is secured. Biafra land can never be Islamized. Biafra people are very unique. We are very stubborn, and we are very brave people. And today, I am very, very proud to inform you that your braveness, your courage, and your support has brought us where we are today. We have also listened to the Elders Forum of the Northern Elders Forum statement asking that Igbos should be allowed to go, or Southeast, however they call it. But we want to inform them that there is nothing like Southeast. There is nothing like South-South. There is nothing like Ndi Igbo should go. We are coming with our map. Biafra is coming with the map. And by the time we finish with the map from tomorrow, we are going to make it public. So that whoever that is addressing those who want to exit Nigeria, those who want to exit Nigeria as Biafra, they will address us properly. They will understand that this is not just Igbo affair. This is not just Igbo cause. This is a Biafra cause, and they must address us as such. I want to also make everyone understand that they have been avoiding mentioning Biafra Liberation Army. They have been avoiding mentioning Biafra government. These are the things they avoid. The Biafra Liberation Army neutralized Nigeria Army, kill them when they come to kill Biafra people. And when they want to report it, they report unknown government. What kind of stupidity and confusion is that? Biafra government, Biafra Liberation Army, and Biafra resistance fighters taking responsibility of neutralizing the terrorist army who come to Biafra land to kill. And this responsibility we are taking because we are neutralizing them. But each time they want to report, they report that it is unknown government. We are not unknown government. Biafra Liberation Army has been unveiled officially by myself during the Helsinki Convention. And also, I would like to address the issue of the images that were being displayed on their social media by the Nigeria Terrorist Army, that they captured about 100 or 30 ESN personnel. I want everyone to understand that the people that were captured has absolutely nothing to do with the Biafra Liberation Army. You can never capture Biafra Liberation Army. You can never go close to Biafra Liberation Army, except those, if any, who want to sell out. They can go to you and you arrest them. But anybody that is in Biafra Liberation Army camp, you can never go close to them. So I want to, inform Biafra people to disregard whatever that you see on social media flying. We are very proud of our men. We are very, very proud of our personnel. They are well trained, well grounded, and they have overpowered Nigerian military, as evidently can be confirmed by the cry of the Chief of Defense Staff. That cry you see is a cry of people that have been overpowered by the Biafra Liberation Army. Our offensive will start tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day that the offensive of the Biafra Liberation Army will go to the next level. And it is called Operation Kill the Python. Python danced many years ago, Python 1, Python 2, Python 3, Python 4, and they killed Biafran without remorse. Today, we are going to hunt them down in Biafra land. Anybody wearing that khaki is a Python, and the person, that particular Python, must be killed. Again, on the issue of the liberation task. The liberation task is going to be activated in Biafra land very, very soon. As soon as the state structure is complete, we are going to activate the Biafra liberation task in all states of Biafra. So every state will have a structure and measures how their Biafra liberation tax will be collected. As of today, the Biafra de facto government has appointed the finance minister, which is known to only those executives of the state. The finance minister and other financial department in the Biafra de facto government is coming up with measures how the Biafra liberation tax will be collected, and everybody in Biafra land and those in Nigeria will be given opportunity to participate in funding the Biafra liberation. Last but not least, we want to use the opportunity to call every personnel, Biafra personnel or Biafra person serving in Nigeria Army, Nigeria Police, Nigeria Navy, Nigeria Air Force. If you are serving in all these institutions mentioned now, and you are very close to Biafra land or you are in Biafra land, resign. Resign.
They bring you to Biafra, resign, because once you have that uniform on, we don't know who you are. You are the enemy and you are our enemy. This is a last warning and last call for you to resign. If you are deployed to Biafra territory to kill, pull off your cloth and resign, and look for contact where you can contact me or some of your group if you want to serve the Biafra army or the Biafra forces. You are welcome. You are welcome, and you will be treated and respected, not what they are giving you or trying to kill you for nothing within the Nigeria state. Biafra will value you, and once you fight for Biafra, it is something that you should be proud of. So every one of you that are serving within Biafra territory, today is your last day. Both police, today is your last day. Army, today is your last day. Navy, today is your last day. Except you are not in Biafra land. If you are not in Biafra land, it is your problem. You can die in the north, that is your business. But if you are in Biafra land, today, this 3rd day of December is your last day in Biafra land. Resign. Pull off your cloth and stop killing Biafrans. Because if we catch you in that uniform, it does not matter who you are gone. Thank you very much for being part of this program, and especially on the issue of the sit at home tomorrow in Anambra. Remember that tomorrow is also the normal Monday sit at home, especially the people in Enugu State. Those of you in Enugu State, nobody has called off or cancelled the sit at home in Enugu State. Enugu State, you are inviting the wrath of Biafra. And when that wrath comes, you will not stand it. Enugu State will be locked down tomorrow. And if there is any challenges in Enugu, we will then single the Enugu out for complete lockdown. And if it is Enugu, we will bring our gate, we will open the gate in Enugu. If after tomorrow there is any slight issue with the sit at home in Enugu State tomorrow, we are going to open gate in Enugu. A very heavy one, and everybody will feel it. The liberation of Biafra is not a child play. You must be ready to pay the price. You must be ready to sacrifice. And the sacrifice you are going to make is just this little small civil disobedience. In order to delegitimize Nigeria, in order to make Nigeria useless, in order to make the government that Nigeria has instituted in our land to be very useless. That's what we are doing, nothing else. And then it is going to lead to the declaration of Biafra immediately. The state structure is complete. So I am calling all the states that are yet to submit their structures to make sure that they meet up with the deadline tomorrow. Tomorrow remain deadline. The 4th of December, every structure of the state must be submitted. I want to thank you all for being part of this particular briefing today. Remember that you are already in Biafra land. Remember that the Biafra nation is already there. You are already, if you are in Biafra land, if you are in the southeast, and the lower Benue, another part of lower Kogi, you are already in Biafra. Don't wait for me to declare it. We have already declared Biafra. For the fact that you find yourself in those states, for the fact that we control and enjoy the loyalty of the Biafra people, you are already in Biafra. Wait until I declare Biafra after the structure has been put in place, after we have done and concluded our self-referendum. The Biafra has come. Fellow Biafran, I want to assure you that indeed Biafra has been restored in 2023. It can never be possible without the structures we have put in place. It can never be possible without what we are bringing to the table. The government institutions and everything that we have done so far. That is what can bring Biafra. And that is what will bring Biafra. And that is what has brought Biafra to the limelight. And that is why you are now living in Biafra territory. It remains the declaration after the self-referendum, which we are already putting everything in place. You are going to follow this particular historic step by step. You are going to follow the history of how Biafra will become a nation step by step.
Our own is to make sure that Nigeria terrorist security forces in Biafra land, woto. The woto can never stop. We will continue to give them woto. Woto will continue until they leave. Our demand is that every security agent in Biafra land representing Nigeria must be withdrawn. You must be withdrawn. If you don't withdraw them and they're still in Biafra land, they will all die there. Thank you. May God bless you. From here, from me, is good evening.
Nigeria on a daily basis witness the impunity which is so-called.
So in the process that we are embarking upon, if we are not praying for war, but we are it to come to war, we have to fight. The only thing we are saying is that this time around, we will be more prepared than we were before. That's all we are saying. Nobody's asking for war. To tell me that you're prepared to be a slave in the Philippines, in another person's country, enjoying, let them go and ask the Filipinos what they went through to drive away Imelda Marcos and the husband. Our people need sometimes somebody suggested before that in the new Biafra we will turn every textbook into a local language. If you're in Ibibio, physics will be in Ibibio language, geography in Ibibio language, everything is in Ibibio language. If you're from Igbo land, everything will be in Igbo language. Everything. So that our people can reason in their own language. This is why I hated colonialism. If you think in a foreign language, you will not understand the meaning of what you're talking about. That is why at Radio Biafra, we don't present radio and journalism the way it is done everywhere else. Because our people, it will not have the desired impact. Here we give you the news and tell you the meaning and implications of the news you are presenting. How can somebody who claims he or she is educated can go to and say, oh, don't join, you are not born during the war. What if you see what we suffered? Do you know what Churchill went through, what the British people went through under Hitler? Had Hitler launched his infantry into this country, has he commenced the ground assault in Britain, he would have taken over the country. That's what saved the people here. They don't understand history because they are not educated. They were educated in Nigeria, where you go to school for 2 weeks and you're on strike for 8 years. I don't blame them at all. That was why some of us left that zoo to come outside to come and study, so we can understand what studying is all about. So that when we stand up and speak and talk about intelligent people, we know what we are talking about. Anybody who is educated in Nigeria, I'm afraid to say, you are nobody because your brain is not complete. You are not intelligent enough to discuss or to understand what you're talking about. If you have to go to war, you go to war. Sometimes you fight a war not to defend lives and property, but to defend something that money cannot buy. That thing is called honor. It is called honor.